So for this year Urban Design Otherwise, we are in Bethnal Green, specifically in Pelican House. Pelican House is a social center and also a workers' collective where different organizations join together to organize different events and social activities. The other reason why we are in Pelican House is because the building is self-managed by Unit 38. And Unit 38 is an architectural cooperative from which one of our alumni, David, is part. So in BAD, we want to take the opportunity of the Urban Design Otherwise to showcase the work of our alumni, especially those who work in developing emancipatory urban design practices.
So we had the first day of the 2-day workshop entitled In Outside, through which we brought students outside the studio space to kind of explore wider context of the city, but specifically we wanted to start from Pelican House, and the aim basically was for students to kind of map out and understand the kind of dynamics of different transformative actions that are basically happening in this building.
And we were doing a couple mapping activities to kind of understand the organizing networks and the activism that has kind of emerged through Pelican House, but also has been the foundation of this place and so many other organizations. And the keyword I think that we kind of brought up through when we were taken around in the space, but also in the activity itself, was the word ecology, and thinking how in so many different people in so many different ways, whether it's at an activist level, but also the architects involved that brought forward their skill sets and all the kind of care and love and the community building and the food and the sharing and all these practices of love and care, I think define and help grow that microecology or the different microecologies that are involved in East London. And sort of in the spirit of otherwise, I think give us an idea of moving away from like an arrogant take on what architecture or planning can and should be doing, and more so lending ourselves to the humble and difficult and very strenuous work and maintenance that comes into making a place.
And the whatever students did today will be the kind of foundation for the next week workshop, which will be kind of guided urban walk outside the building.
So today we have built off of the work in the first session, which was to map the ecology of organizations and the resources available within Pelican House, a building that we consider to be a workers' social symbol. And we have grounded it within a real case study, and that's the struggles around Save Brick Lane. So in the morning, we went on, the first part of the session, we went on a tour of Save Brick Lane and had a discussion around what that struggle entails, what resistance looks like. And then we've come back to Pelican House to explore, for a role-playing exercise, what some strategies could be for action moving forward. And that's really looking at how we can look beyond Pelican House into applying the resources, the knowledge, the people that Pelican House has to have this wider effect.
So the activity that we had today at Reclaim, I think it helps us, especially since we come from a positionality of ours as well. The whole role playing helps us to understand what are the other actors involved, and sometimes it also talks about the tensions that exist within the actors that are there, maybe like in terms of how they could approach, and like the main possibility that we realize is just because we have a shared vision does not necessarily mean that everybody has the same way to attain that vision, which is something is very much lost since we all come from similar positionalities and we all have the same mindset. So that was interesting for us to look into.
especially in terms of diversity, as Bitcoin itself is a community of its own, which is set again in a bigger context of a bigger community. I think that's the complexity of like how the scale itself affects and how it functions as its own organism. So that complexity and the diversity and understanding how the existing is functioning as well. So even though as much as we want to change and intervene in these, it is still sustaining due to its own culture and the people existing. So to understand that relation of how people act with its context is something that's interesting.